Hello, Mr. Tidbits here again, and we thought we'd just show you one of the things we love to do at the end of kind of the tail end of winter is to tap trees for maple syrup. So the type of trees you want to tap are the maple trees. We have box elder trees, which is actually a maple tree, it's a Norway maple, but they do produce quite a bit of sap, and what you need temperature-wise is 40 degrees during the day, freezing at night. So if at least 40 degrees, if it gets more than that, that's fine. As long as it's freezing at night, that creates a pressure inside the tree so that when you tap it or drill a hole into it, it pushes that sap out. Now you don't need to worry about the danger of the tree because the most you could ever possibly get out of a tree is about 7% of what's in the tree. So it's really not gonna harm it. It's March now. We normally do this in February, but here we are almost April and it's still winter for us. Anyways, well, I'll show you how to tap a tree. Okay, in order to tap a tree, you need a 5/16 drill bit. And then this is a sprue right here. It's a plastic one. You can buy them online. And they come with a hose. It's about 18 inches long. And this is the part that will go into the tree. You just drill a hole, tap it in there. You only need to go about a ½ inch into the tree, not very far. And then that'll slowly drip all day long, the sap coming out. It takes about a day, day and a half to fill up a gallon jug. So we'll go ahead and tap it. It's already juice is coming out already. Anyways, we'll stick that in there. It just sits there. You can cover the top of the jug if you want. That'll kind of keep debris out of it. And moths love to get in there for some odd reason. But yeah, there it is, tapped and ready to go. Okay, so this is kind of my kids' job in the winter time as they come out here. You want to harvest kind of mid-morning because if you see, you pull your hose, there's quite a bit of ice in there. You'll have some liquid and some ice. That's good because the water freezes and the sugar water remains. So we've had snow the last few days. Anyways, just go and you can drain out that's kind of a slightly sweet nectar. And then there's a big chunk of ice left in there. That's what you want. You want that water to freeze out. That's a lot less you have to boil in the end. So you need about 5 gallons of this before you're really, you get you about a quart and a half of maple syrup off that. And like I say, it usually takes about 2 days in this temperature. If you really get the days where it's really warm in the day and still freezing at night, you'll get a lot more sap. You need that sunshine on this tree to warm it up. So always tap on the south side of the tree where the sun can shine on that side of the tree and just warm it up, and then it'll start pushing out the sap into the bottle. All right, so then I just bring the sap over here. I got myself, it's about a 4-gallon pot there on top of a Camp Chef. I just start outside to burn it down to where there's more sugar than there is water. And then I'll take it inside the house and finish it off. This is just the rough boil. And I'll add to it as the day goes, as it boils down and gets going. But sugar content varies quite a bit depending on the time of the year, type of tree, everything. So really keep an eye on it. I've let it burn too far and I burnt out the whole pot. I just did that earlier today. Burnt the whole thing up, and all I had is ashes left over. So you don't want it to burn. Just get it down to where it looks really amber brown and it's not really boiling heavy. Then you know it's time to take it inside. But you really got to watch it close, especially as it gets down to less. So I got some here boiling. I'm just going to add to it. Here, I still got a pretty good chunk of ice in there, so. Okay, then we'll just let that burn down and keep checking on it every half hour or so, and it'll be ready to go. Move it inside and we'll finish it off into some syrup. So I got into doing maple syrup, about 3 or 4 years ago. I started doing it during the winter time, and we haven't had the best of winters. You really need a good winter with, you know, at least a good month of 40, 50 degree and freezing at nights. If it's not really those situations, it'll actually start to go bitter as it warms up. So yeah, it's a great way to save money. You know, I mean, a bottle of maple syrup will cost you, you know, 15, 20 bucks, and the way my kids go through it, I don't think it'd be really financially smart to do it that way. So we boil as much as we can and store it up. It's great for sweeteners. We use it for sweetening all of our baked goods. Kids use it in their hot chocolate. It's just our main sweetener, that and honey. And this time of year, you're not getting honey, so we use a lot of maple syrup in our household. That just replaces sugar in most all recipes. It's an all-natural sweetener. It's a lot better for you than refined sugar. So, okay, so we're done outside. Now, the boiling that we do outside produces a lot of steam. I don't recommend bringing that and doing it all in the house, because it's a lot of steam we'll be putting into your house. It can cause mold and whatnot. But anyways, I just brought it inside the house, and you can see it's kind of muddy water, real liquidy. It's not quite that thick syrup consistency yet. So we'll pour it in here, and we'll boil it just for half hour or so or whatever, until it starts to turn nice and thick. And you can always test it on a spoon. If it runs off a spoon like that, it's not ready yet. You want to get up there and kind of take a little while to get off that spoon. But still pretty liquidy. Okay, so it's really starting to boil now. I can't seem to find the holder for our thermometer, but anyway, you set her down in there and you want to get it up to about 7 to 8 degrees above the boiling temperature of water, which is 212. So 219 is about where you want it. And that'll get it to where that's the stuff you buy in the store. And if you take that, put it in a jar, put it in your fridge, it'll last up to a year. I mean, it really stores really well in the fridge. There is a bottling technique that you can look up online. It's quite intricate and detailed. But there's a bottle technique. You can store this in canning jars on your countertop or in your pantry or whatever, just out of light and whatnot. But it'll store up to 2 years like that. Anyways, in our house it won't last more than a few weeks, so it'll be gone pretty quick. But yeah, you basically get it up to that temperature. It'll start to, the foam will start to grow up and fill the thing. But and you can stop it at really any time you want, based on the consistency and sweetness. It's really sweet right now. It just, you want to get the rest of that water out. It just stores better when you get it down to about 30 or so percent water. So yeah, and here in just a little bit we'll cool it down, put it in the jar, and have some delicious maple syrup to put on my pancakes in the morning.